high school. I need to enjoy being free of big responsibilities. And that's a big issue because life will pass you by. You don't want it to, right? You want to enjoy life, and you want to enjoy the little things in life because those things are not always, going to be there for us. And then, so here are some things that you can do. Here's kind of a glare, but you can go for a run or light jog. I know not everyone is an athlete or a runner, but doing some kind of jogging where it's getting your heart rate up is really good for you. Meditating or doing deep breathing for 5 minutes. If you're stressed about a speech or if you're stressed about a class, go to the restroom, do some breathing exercises. I started doing this with my freshmen, and it's actually really helped them and it's calmed them down because, freshmen, they have a lot of energy. They are, enjoying school, and I have to kind of bring them down into like a place where they can learn. Take a break. Sometimes you guys, I know you stay up super late to do work, and that's not always beneficial. Sometimes you need to give yourself 10 minutes, 5 minutes. As long as you are giving you some time to kind of think about what's happening, it's good. Laugh, have friends, be surrounded by people. Laughing is a natural cure to sadness, to anxiety. Boys and girls, painting your nails and toenails is always a therapeutic thing. It's like doing self-care at home. Washing your hair and your face regularly. Skin is very important. Your skin shows a lot about your health. So if you are breaking out or something like that, that might be a sign of stress or overeating or anxiety. So it's really important to keep your hygiene up to par. Eat green daily, whether it's vegetables or some fruit, as long as you're eating something that gives you vitamin C, vitamin D, which kind of brings up your energy levels. Avoid emotional eating. I am a person who does this sometimes. When I'm really stressed out, I overeat. Like I go home and I just order pizza or eat a huge bag of hot Cheetos knowing that I shouldn't. And I feel like it makes me happy in that moment, but in reality, it's not. I'm putting toxic things into my body. It's okay to have them, every now and then, but emotional eating is kind of a gateway into more severe issues like, eating disorders. So you want to be careful with eating when you're emotional. Journaling is always therapeutic, or vlogging if you're into videos or YouTube. I know a lot of young people like to watch the YouTubers. That's a way of getting your feelings out. Learn to say no. Sometimes, I know me and Miss Giles have this issue. Our first year teaching, we never said no. They asked us to do all of these things, and we're like, yes, yes, yes. And at one point, we were like, we are not in a good place. We are burnt out, we're tired, we're taking all this work home. And for you kids, you also have to learn to say no. Whether it's with peer pressure or people wanting you to do things, or just like being overly worked. Sometimes you have to say no. You can't say no to your teacher, right? Write an essay. No. Miss Selena said, learn to say no. No, but there are things that you can control and be like, I don't have time for that right now. I need to do this. So learning to say no is really important. Overthinking. Don't overthink, right? When you are confused and when you're overwhelmed, just kind of step back and look at the situation before you make any decisions, right? You want to make sure your mind is in a good place when you are in a state where you're trying to decide something. And then choose who you spend time with. If you know you have friends who are negative or they don't want to do things that are beneficial, then you're going to want to get away from those things. You're going to be surrounded by people who care about you and want the best for you. Some tips, I'll get to this in a little bit. I want to show you some of the things that, remember that at the end of the day, you are in charge of your life and you are in control. So that's the biggest thing about self-care, is knowing that it's all about you. You are in control of who you are, and no one can kind of stop that or take that away from you. So I brought some things that I do at home to kind of self-care. I'll show you some things. I know a lot of you have seen like the facial, the mask, like the sheet mask. These are really nice and really affordable. You can even get them at the dollar store now, which is nice because sometimes at Walmart and stuff, they're kind of a lot of money. I love Ross, so I also find a lot of my self-care stuff at Ross. Like I found these aloe vera wipes that guys and girls can use at Ross. There's like 150 of them for like $4. What I recently learned about doing is, when it deals with your skin, like your hands and your feet, is buying like nice gloves, like soft gloves and like the fuzzy socks. and lathering your feet in not just lotion, but with a moisture balm, like something that's a lot thicker, and then like sleeping with this on. I know it might be weird to sleep with like gloves, but when you wake up, your hands are a lot softer, your feet are a lot softer, especially if you can't afford to get a pedicure every week. I know I can't go to the salon every week. So this is a nice way of giving your skin a break, especially if you are a runner or an athlete, you're on your feet a lot. Your hands, if you do things with your hands, you might want to give that a little break so you can have that. These are scented. I got these at Walmart. They're scented with lavender, which helps you sleep. So lavender, if you buy any lavender lotion, that's good to kind of relax you and help you go to bed. So that's really nice. And it looks like lipstick, but it's actually I'm almost done with it. It is a lip exfoliator. So like if you're suffering from dry lips, this is a good way to take away that dryness and that dead skin. Ladies and gentlemen, if you take care of your hair masks, I've recently found this out, are really helpful, especially if you have oily hair. You put this on before you shower, and then it kind of takes away all that extra moisture, and it helps your hair grow, and it makes it look more alive. And then also face masks. These are really big. I know a lot of guys now are into doing like the self-care stuff. I got my boyfriend, if you ever meet him, don't make fun of him. I got him into doing face masks at home and taking care of his skin, and it's a nice way of like bonding with people. If you have a little sister, a mom, you can do these things with them so that you can have that experience together, but also you're taking care of yourself. So now I want to go back to some kind of tips that I have. So from my experience, for being a student, for being a young adult, one of the biggest things is giving yourself pep talks, making yourself feel good, because you can't always depend on someone to be there for you. You have to be your biggest supporter as well as your biggest critic. So if you love something and you're passionate about something, talk to yourself about it. Say like, I can do this, it's going to be a good day. Technology is great, but it also is harmful. I know a lot of us like to use Instagram and we're on social media, but using that constantly also creates negative impacts on us as well. If we're constantly looking at people's lives and we're judging and we're comparing ourselves, we might feel bad about ourselves because we are constantly trying to be like someone else. So a good tip is to be tech-free, like at least an hour. Put your phone away, read a book, work on homework, be with a family member, do some kind of a workout where you're just not on your phone. So you can get your mind some time to like relax. And then the last 30 minutes of sleep, there's actually studies, I don't want to get all scientific, but there's studies that if you, 30 minutes before you know you're going to go to sleep, if you turn off your phone and you just kind of be tech-free, it actually helps you get to sleep earlier. Because if you're on your phone at night and you're still scrolling and Snapchatting, you're not giving your body that time to relax so that you can go to bed. So maybe try that out. And then the last two things are spend time with people you care about. It's really important as young adults that you surround yourself with good people, because there's times where you feel isolated and lonely, and if you don't have that strong support system, then that might cause you to, be sad, be depressed, be withdrawn. And then be conscious of what you eat and how much you eat, because food, we're young and we think we can eat it all, but food actually has a lot of chemicals and things in it that are not good for us. So you just want to be careful of what you put in your body, because that might be the thing that makes you tired or bloated or feel sick. And so with that being said, we are going to create some scrubs that you can do at home that are very cheap and inexpensive. And it's actually really good for your skin, because everything we're using is organic, so it's healthy and it doesn't have chemicals, and everyone should be okay putting this on their skin. So we're going to be making two scrubs today. One will be a sugar scrub, and it's going to be for exfoliating your skin, so removing the dry skin. And that can also be used on your lips, so if you have dry lips. And then the second one we're going to use is also with sugar, but it has coconut oil, and it's going to be a moisturizing facial scrub, as well as taking off that dead skin. So me and Ms. Giles, we're going to get our materials together so that we can start making our face mask.
Don't worry about it.
Everyone is going to get 2 baggies because we'll be making 2 different masks.